how one county is making its fair more accessible. Plus, what you need to know about how Beryl is continuing to impact the U.S. And do you feel like you need to reach for a cup of coffee in the morning? We have some of the best ways to fight morning grogginess. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Lucy Schaefer, and welcome to Newswatch. While going to the fair can be a lot of fun, the lights, loud noises, and large crowds can give some people sensory overload. That's why a fair in Southeast Ohio had its first ever sensory-friendly event yesterday. Newswatch reporter Allison Patton has the details.
Thanks, Lucy. I had the opportunity to check out what the Lawrence County Fair is doing to make sure everyone can enjoy the festivities. Take a look. This is how the fairs throughout the Lawrence County Fair sounds when the music is off and talking is minimal. And for people sensitive to loud noises and large crowds, it is a welcome change.
And this allows those individuals to come and enjoy the rides during a quieter, lower time of traffic.
Lawrence County Development Disabilities Lisa Menshouse organized the first ever sensory-friendly fair time for people like James and his best friend Nate.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, yeah.
It's been a day of exciting new experiences.
Nate actually got James onto his first Ferris wheel.
The adult daycare pals brought about 20 people to the fair. Staff member Finn Marshall says twice as many daycare attendees wanted to go during the sensory-friendly time than during regular fair hours.
The sensory issues, they do hold them back a lot. And so this gave them that opportunity to be able to come out and enjoy it like everybody else does.
The day was such a success, Menshouse says her organization plans to do it again next year. Sensory-friendly days are picking up popularity around the state. The event has even made its way to the Ohio State Fair with a morning blocked off for similar activities in July. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Allison Patton, live in studio.
Thanks, Allison. Businesses in Athens are preparing for one of the biggest weeks of the summer. Places such as Crystal, Casa Nueva, J-Bar, and Pigskin are hosting live music performances, kickoff parties, keg tappings, and game nights for Brew Week, an annual 9-day festival. That means cleaning, contacting breweries, and scheduling enough staff. Pigskin manager Corinne Wiles says it's a busy week.
Definitely by far one of our most profitable times of the year. With the students being gone in the summer, it's pretty slower than normal. So Brew Week really picks things up and really helps us out in the summer.
Wiles says she's excited to create an environment that will keep customers coming back. Information about Brew Week can be found at ohiobrewweek.gov. So Donovan, I hear that Brew Week is a big success with a lot of people in Athens. I know they're almost at their 20th year. What's the weather going to be like for that this Friday?
Yeah, the weather looks like it's going to be pretty nice for Brew Week, but currently in Athens, we're under a special weather statement. So this statement is going to affect regions of Southeast Ohio and into West Virginia. Those regions include, as we can see, those regions will include Jackson, Ironton, Marietta, and into West Virginia and Parkersburg. So that is coming from Hurricane Beryl. This is a wind warning that'll be coming up from the south, moving north into our region, and this will stay into effect until about 7 p.m. tonight. So for those looking to go outside, be wary of debris, be careful because those wind gusts are really going to be picking up. But if we look into temperatures currently in Athens, we're sitting at 73 degrees, 71 up north in Columbus, 70 in Lancaster, and then as we look into Parkersburg, we got 70 there. So temperatures are definitely cooling off over the next few days. You know, we've had those 90-degree weather for the past few days, so it's definitely getting a lot cooler. If we look up north, we can see we got some rain moving into the area as well. Is that something we'll have to worry about? Not really. We're going to see some blips tonight in the region, not too bad. So Athens is going to get some rain tonight. You might want to bring that umbrella with you if you head out, but it won't be crazy. And as we look into tonight, we got an overnight low of 60 degrees. So it's going to definitely cool off with temperatures tomorrow reaching 84, 91 on Friday, and 93 on Saturday. So stay tuned to my full forecast later, and we'll get into how the rest of the weather will be looking over the weekend. Back to you, Lucy.
Thanks, Donovan. Ohio's 4th District Court of Appeals will convene at the Athens County Courthouse tomorrow. The judges will be considering appeals from 4 separate cases in Athens, Gallia, and Jackson County, one of which is a case that caught national attention in 2022. Matthew Komosko, a former Hocking College employee, was charged with menacing after harassing and threatening a student, Caden Cox. Cox was a member of the football team and made history after being the first athlete with Down syndrome to score a point in the NCAA. The court will begin hearing appeals at 10 a.m. The Ohio-based Fifth Third Bank will pay $20 million in penalties levied by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This comes after a CFPB investigation into the bank's auto insurance practices, as well as a 2020 lawsuit the agency filed pertaining to the bank's creation of fake customer accounts. The CFPB says the bank illegally charged customers for unnecessary auto insurance policies. It's estimated that the practice harmed more than 35,000 customers and resulted in vehicle repossession for more than 1,000 people. 7-4-0 football is kicking off in a little over a month, and a team out of Chillicothe is looking to bounce back after a first-round playoff loss last year. Gridiron Glory reporter Zachary Knight has more.
Thanks, Lucy. With a new season of high school football approaching, the Unioto Shermans are expecting to see some changes. I visited the team to see what they're focused on ahead of the start of the season. The Unioto Shermans are hard at work in preseason practice, looking to avoid last season's mistakes. Head coach Matt Hoops knows what the team needs to improve.
We want to start winning playoff games here.
Last season, the Shermans went undefeated in the conference, but lost their first-round playoff game to 15-seed Urbana.
We've got a lot to fix and grow if we want to be able to compete with those type of teams. And that's kind of what we've been really focused on this offseason, this summer.
But they're going to have to do it without quarterback Newton Hoops. He led the team to their first conference title in 25 years and their first undefeated league record since 1981. Fortunately, another Hoops is stepping up to fill the gap, Newton's younger brother, Blake.
I think I've learned a lot from him, just being his brother. So, like, the way he would just keep us all calm and in the moment, like, I think that's a lot that I've learned from Newton.
But this isn't just on Blake's shoulders. The Shermans aren't expecting just one person to fill the void. They plan to do it together.
Our brotherhood is it's really strong. I feel like stronger than ever. We definitely have some fresh legs, just if someone gets sore or someone gets hurt, another guy can fill in. Definitely be a big threat this year.
We'll see just how this hard work pays off when they face off with Vinton County in Week 1. In the meantime, stay tuned for more Gridiron Glory content in the coming weeks, with Season 25 debuting on August 23rd. For more 7-4-0 football, check us out on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For written content, head to woub.org/gridiron. Whatever you need, we've got you covered. Let Gridiron Glory be your source for all things high school football in Southeast Ohio. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Zachary Knight, live in studio.
Thanks, Zachary. Coming up, why the U.S. is shutting down a pier built to deliver aid to Gaza, and what you need to know about how Beryl is continuing to impact the U.S.
Will rain be affecting your guys' Brew Week plans? Find out next on my full weather forecast.
You will actually see the destruction happening before your eyes.
We will see increases in birds and all kinds of insects.
We still have a chance to save it if we act. Can you turn on the rain in the rainforest? So we're basically seeing right here, right now, the future of what tropical forests might be like.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
I hear the echoes all through the meadows. Breathe in and let go. That sweet surrender. I've been running all through the night. You can knock me down, but I've got my will to survive. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Let the mountain high like a waterfall. Through the wind, I'll be standing tall. Rise up, rise up.
Together, we can make real change happen.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
The U.S. military pier off of the coast of Gaza is set to be permanently removed. The pier will be taken down as early as next week. With land crossings frequently closed, the pier was built to deliver aid to civilians suffering as the Israel-Hamas war continues. But the $230 million temporary operation has been plagued with problems since its inception. It has been stuck at an Israeli port for nearly 2 weeks after the Pentagon decided sea conditions were too rough for it to operate. The pier is expected to be used to at least one more time this week to deliver any remaining humanitarian aid into Gaza. While a key method of transporting aid into Gaza is being shut down, the region is continuing to struggle with starvation. According to a statement by the United Nations, recent deaths of children due to hunger show famine has spread across the entire Gaza Strip. At least 3 Palestinian children died from malnutrition and lack of access to adequate health care in late May and early June. Experts say the death of a child from malnutrition and dehydration indicates health and social structures are being critically weakened. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is taking action against 2 members of the U.S. Supreme Court. The Democratic lawmaker from New York has introduced impeachment articles against Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. She says their failures to disclose millions of dollars worth of gifts while on the high court, quote, represents nothing less than a constitutional crisis. This effort from Ocasio-Cortez is expected to fail in the Republican-led House of Representatives. Numerous House Democrats have focused on the Supreme Court in their campaign year messages. Some have previously said that if they end up retaking the majority in the House, they will probe alleged ethical lapses by Supreme Court justices. The U.S. death toll related to Beryl has risen to 10 today. This after authorities in Texas confirmed 2 carbon monoxide poisoning deaths. Officials are warning about the public about the dangers of using generators indoors to run their AC. But as a deadly heat wave bakes much of the state and the western U.S., the risky trade-off between safety and staying cool will likely continue. Laura Aguirre has more.
It's going to be days. It's going to be days.
A harsh reality facing well over 1 million people in Texas, still without power after a devastating hit from what was Hurricane Beryl Monday. Searing in temperatures reaching the triple digits in several places. Local energy officials are feeling the heat when pressed for a timeline on restoring power.
Look, we live here, we work here, we have employees that don't have power as well. It's miserable. We're motivated to get people back on as quickly as possible.
The life-threatening heat wave is also scorching most of the western U.S. for another day Wednesday. In Washington state, broiling concrete roadways are expanding.
When it expands, it kind of starts to put pressure on each other, so you could create more friction, and then one tends to pop.
We haven't got a lot of suspension.
For farmers hauling goods by tractor, buckling roads are more than just bumpy.
You kind of get a lot of movement, and there's a lot of product flying around and things getting broken.
The U.S. Coast Guard flew into action over the Rogue River Trail in southern Oregon Tuesday after a legally blind hiker was overcome by heat exhaustion. Both he and his dog were rescued safely. From heat to the threat of flooding and possible tornadoes in the Midwest and Northeast as remnants of Storm Beryl wash across several states from Missouri to Maine into Thursday morning. Beryl washed over the Ohio Valley overnight, leaving a number of home and business owners there, much like parts of the Gulf Coast, facing a long recovery. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
As parts of the Ohio Valley are dealing with early flood season from Beryl, the Federal Emergency Management Agency finalized a rule to help flooded communities build back in a more resilient way. The new standard will impact all federally funded projects to rebuild publicly owned infrastructure. FEMA says it will pay for the federal cost share for these projects. That's about 75% or more of a project's total cost. That includes municipal buildings, fire and police stations, and hospitals, but it will not impact the rebuilding of private homes.
Yeah, well, we don't need to worry too much about flooding here. Parts of southeast Ohio and West Virginia are under a special weather statement. These areas include Athens, Jackson, Parts of Marietta and down into West Virginia, places like Parkersburg are under the special weather statement until about 7 p.m. tonight. What that is we're getting some wind gusts coming from the south, moving up north from Hurricane Beryl, and those gusts can reach up to about 30 miles per hour. So it is going to be pretty windy outside. So if you're heading outside, just be careful of debris and things like that. But as we look at temperatures currently in Athens, we got 73 degrees in Athens, 70 up in Lancaster, and 71 in Columbus, 70 down in Parkersburg. Things have been cooling off over the past few days, which has been real nice considering we had some really hot heat over the past few days here, up in the 90s over the past few days. So cooling off here in southeast Ohio has been real nice. But as we look currently, it is also a little bit humid. We got 66% humidity. It's a little sticky outside, so if you head out, be careful with that. You know, it is 73 degrees, but might get a little sweat going on if we head outside. Now, Athens tonight is going to be much cooler. We see that overnight low of 60 degrees. It's going to be a cool one. Might want to grab your jacket if you're heading out for a late night walk. And we also will see partly cloudy skies for tonight. Now, if we take a look at tomorrow morning, 12 hours ahead, we can see this low pressure system here making its way towards Ohio here, bringing with it some rain. Now, if we get into 24 hours ahead, we can see we got a high pressure system right here kind of clearing up some of that rain that we would have expected. So if we look at this time tomorrow, it'll be probably clear skies, no rain, and there it is, mostly sunny tomorrow. 84 degrees is our temperature high with a low of 62. So while it was pretty cool today, it is still not too hot, not too cold for tomorrow, but things will be heating up. If we look at our 7-day outlook, we got 91 degrees on Friday, and then from then on, temperatures are going to start to keep getting hotter and hotter. We see 93 degrees on Saturday, 93 on Sunday, and then once we hit Sunday, that's when those chances of storms are going to start coming in. We got storms expected on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So enjoy these next few days with Brew Week coming up this weekend as those storms are going to start to roll in with little bits of rain here and there. But especially on Wednesday, as we're going to see a high of 98 degrees, that heat index can get well into the hundreds. So make sure you're getting some water in as we get into the hot days. But right now, we'll just take it back over to Lucy.
Thanks, Donovan. Just days after the TSA set a daily record for passenger screening, a new House subcommittee looked at new federal provisions aimed at adding more workers in the aviation ranks. As passenger volume has rebounded from the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of essential aviation workers has fallen behind. Aviation experts joined the subcommittee to discuss how to implement safety and staffing provisions in the Federal Aviation Administration Reauthorization Act signed in May. There are currently 3,000 vacancies among the nation's air traffic controllers.
These vital members of the workforce have resulted in subpar experiences across the ecosystem of aviation.
The panel also highlighted obstacles for the next generation of pilots, especially training costs. According to the ATP Flight School, it costs nearly $109,000 to become a pilot with no prior experience. Microsoft is giving up its seat on a key artificial intelligence board. The tech company took a non-voting observer position on OpenAI's board last November. The seat meant it could attend OpenAI's board meetings and access confidential information, but it didn't give Microsoft voting rights on matters including electing or choosing directors. Microsoft reportedly invested more than $10 billion into the artificial intelligence company. Next, do you feel like you need to reach for a cup of coffee in the morning? We have some of the best ways to fight morning grogginess. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
Real archaeology is always a battle against time.
The potential to find something brand new is right there.
Oh yeah, you can see the burn.
The eruption was catastrophic. Pompeii is the full picture.
This tripled what we think the populace of Pompeii was.
In the ancient Amazon, who lived there?
It had been assumed that the Amazon was pretty much untouched nature.
But now breathtaking finds
It was some sort of urban complex.
reveal Ice Age societies, agriculture, and mysterious structures.
It's one of the most important archaeological sites that we have in the Americas.
Ancient builders of the Amazon on Nova.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society
The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
Let's make the most of this summer.
There's about to be a whole lot of love in this kitchen.
Smells good in here.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Disco started with parties.
Good times, good feeling.
It brings people joy.
I don't need a detective. The baker will do.
This is what we've got, and we can make it ours. It's so good.
A potential health risk associated with using tampons. They could expose you to toxic metals, including arsenic and lead. That's according to a study published by the journal Environment International. The samples used were from 14 tampon brands in the US and UK, including both organic and non-organic products. All were found to have measurable concentrations of at least 16 different metals. Study authors say although people are regularly exposed to low levels of toxic metals, using tampons could put women at a higher risk of exposure. 7 to 9 hours a night. That's how much sleep is recommended for adults. But sometimes you can get the right amount of sleep and wake up still feeling tired. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on what may be causing morning grogginess and how to help prevent it.
If you get enough Z's but can't kick the morning grogginess, there may be a reason, something known as a heightened state of sleep inertia.
It's just what it sounds like. You are awake, but there's a lot of inertia of sleep left over that affects your memory and your mood, your reaction time, and your alertness as you're waking up.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says these effects usually go away after 15 minutes to an hour, but they can also last longer. Gupta says it's not about the quantity of sleep when it comes to this. Instead, it's the quality of those Z's.
We've talked about the basics of good sleep hygiene before, like keeping your bedroom dark, quiet, cold, and avoiding screens at nighttime.
But Gupta says there are other lifestyle things that can also affect how a person feels when they wake, including being sedentary. Your body can get used to expending low energy, making you more tired, and having inconsistent sleep schedules like staying up late on weekends. He says it can create almost a jet lag effect.
Also, remember that some people might need more sleep than others. So maybe you need 9 hours, and other experts suggest trying to go to sleep an hour earlier or waking up an hour later than usual to see if that can also make a difference.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Interest rates are expected to stay put for at least a little longer. In his semi-annual monetary policy report, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Fed officials want to see more progress before they start reducing the cost of borrowing. Last year, the Fed's key interest rate reached a high not seen in more than 2 decades. While price hikes eased in 2023, they hit a snag a few months ago, causing the Fed to delay its first expected rate cut. According to the latest economic projections from the central bank, the Fed is likely to cut interest rates once before the end of the year. Now, BMW is recalling more than 390,000 vehicles in the U.S. because the airbag inflators could explode in a crash. The recall includes 2006 to 2012 BMW 3 Series sedans and sport wagons. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the vehicles may contain airbag inflators manufactured by Takata. The faculty airbag inflators may have reportedly killed at least 27 people and injured at least 400 in the U.S. BMW says there have been no reports of accidents or injuries in their vehicles caused by the defect. BMW dealers will offer free replacements. Tens of thousands of Chrysler vehicles are also being recalled over an issue with the airbags. Federal safety regulators say the front airbag may not deploy during a crash because of a faulty seatbelt sensor. The recall includes more than 332,000 vehicles, among them the Alfa Romeo Giulia, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, the Fiat 500, the Jeep Renegade, and the Fiat 500e. Multiple model years are affected, and Chrysler dealers will fix the issue at no cost. Still ahead, how a 97-year-old woman from Cincinnati is inspiring others to stay in shape. But first, here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
Understanding the past gives a sense of the future. This is the first time that anyone has seen this in 2,000 years.
This is amazing.
Well, I'm excited now.
Pompeii is a battle against time.
You think I'm joking, but look at this. It did really happen.
Don't let anybody tell you who you are.
History teaches us to honor the past.
When you look back, you're like, wow, that was pretty special.
This is something that's actually altering the course of history.
You're charged with keeping these stories alive.
Firing chain is armed. When liftoff.
Damn, what a cool job. We were not special. There was thousands of people that did thousands of things. You had people's lives in your hands. You had this vehicle that was just awesome.
There's really nothing like it. Seeing it take off, it makes you proud.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
The American identity begins when Benjamin Franklin knit the American colonies together.
Franklin is endlessly interesting.
Printer, scientist, revolutionary.
He is the only founding father who evidently had a sense of humor.
His vision is broader than the American Revolution.
The things that he spoke of, that he wrote about, had a certain amount of power.
He really was an American genius.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, a 97-year-old woman is inspiring others with her weightlifting journey. Merce Hershey trains at Starting Strength in Cincinnati. She decided to give the gym a try after her son suggested weightlifting could help her regain mobility. That was 2 years ago. Now she's gone from pulling an 11-pound bar off the rack to lifting as much as 93 pounds. Hershey now trains 2 days a week, and her efforts have paid off. She's gotten a lot stronger, and not only has her mobility improved, she says her joint and back pain is better, and she's also seen improvement in her bones. Donovan, that's so cool how she's inspiring other people to stay healthy as they get older.
I know, that just kind of fires me up, you know what I mean? Yeah, if you want to be like Merce and, head to the gym later, how's the weather going to be looking? Well, let's take a look at how that's looking. Right now, we're still under that special weather statement, but that will clear up at around 7 p.m. tonight. So that will be clearing out in just a little bit, and that wind gust will definitely die down. Earlier we were in the 30 miles an hour wind gust, but it'll definitely die down here soon. Now, if we look at Athens currently, we got 73 degrees is our temperature with a little bit of an overcast, not too sunny, got some clouds out, and it's still a little sticky out with the humidity at 66%. Taking a look at our overnight low tonight, will be 60 degrees tonight with partly cloudy skies. And if you guys are looking to head outside, it's going to be a little bit brisk. Might want to grab that jacket, bring it with you, as it's going to be a little bit colder than what we're used to here in Athens at this time of the year in the summer. And taking a look at tomorrow, 84 degrees is our temperature high. We're definitely going to start moving up in those hotter weathers here, hotter temperatures, excuse me. And taking a look at our 7-day outlook, we got temperatures rising from 84 tomorrow through 91, 93, 93 again on Sunday, and then we'll eventually reach 98 on Wednesday once those storms start running in. So definitely be careful as the weather gets hotter there.
Thanks, Donovan. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you so much for watching. For Zachary Knight, Allison Patton, and Donovan Varney, I'm Lucy Schaefer. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.